Hey guys, what is up? It is Nathan here, and I'm doing another Nerf Through the Ages video, except it's not a Nerf blaster, and I kind of used the Chaos as a filler episode because I was waiting on something. I ordered a blaster, or I bought a blaster from Mongoose Jake. If you don't know who he is, check out his channel. I'll put a link in the description. He does some really cool stuff, and he's very talented, so I highly recommend you check out his channel. But I bought a Sentinel from him, and I had never gotten my hands on the Sentinel. Now I have my hands on the Sentinel. Now I'm the proud owner of one. The only thing I did, I immediately, when I got a hold of it, immediately what I did, I just put electrical tape around the handle. So a disclaimer, this is technically modified, but other than that, it is completely unmodified. It's completely stock internally. So yeah, today on Nerf Through the Ages, we will be overviewing and talking about the Buzzbee Ultratech Sentinel. So yeah, the Sentinel. It was a blaster released in 2014, I believe, either 13 or 14, in the Buzzbee Air Warriors Ultratech line. Ultratech? Yeah. And there were two different versions of the Sentinel. One was this one, which was the one that almost everyone knows, and then there was the one that was green, orange, and I don't remember the other color, but it was like green, orange, and yellow or something. And it was more, it had the same look as something like the Rapid Fire Tech, which this is very much the descendant of, or the improved version of the Rapid Fire Tech, or alternatively you can call it the Buzzbee's answer to the Nerf Zombie Strike Sling Fire, which I have consistently said that I very much like. I do like that blaster quite a bit. And the main claim to fame with the Sentinel was its performance out of the box. It hit about 80 to 85 FPS out of the box, and it was fairly easy to modify. It actually can take K26, as many people have said, Captain Savior being one of them. He has said on multiple occasions that it can take K26, and his has K26 in it. But first, what is it? A lot of people do not know what it is, but they've seen it on videos, and there's a cult that the people made around the Sentinel, so I guess we can talk about it. The externals first. It's a fairly boring shell. It has three colors of plastic. It has this light gray, it has the white, and it has blue. And the gray and the blue are inserts. And then it has the orange barrel and the orange trigger and the orange mag release. But it's a fairly handsome blaster. It's very utilitarian. There's nothing here that doesn't like strictly have to be here. And and the cool thing about it, and this is where it differed from a lot of past Buzzbee blasters, or past by this standard, in 2013 and in 2014, they started standardizing their magazines. So not only can it take a standard Nerf mag like this 6-round magazine that came from my Mediator, and I do know it came from my Mediator, but it can also take any aftermarket worker mag. And so I loaded this one up with darts, although there is a hair on one of the darts. There's an angle. There it is. And it fires. And it fires very hard. It fires like 80 FPS stock. With these, it's a little less, well, actually 85 usually, so this is probably, 75, 80, which is still more than most Elite blasters. And this was 2013. This was close to the beginning of the Elite line. Zombie Strike had just started with stuff like the Hammer Shot, And this, safe to say, this blew a lot of Hasbro's offerings right out of the water, and it blew the pants off the Sling Fire in terms of performance. And, I mean, with a little bit of a duct tape wrap, this was completely fine as a War Blaster, and I know a lot of people used it as that. I know that one of my friends used this and used it completely stock, but all he did was he put cast fabric around the lever. And I know that I really wish that someone could make like a custom paracord wrap, and that's probably what I'm going to end up doing, is just making a paracord wrap. But the cool thing about this is that you can fire it normally, but you don't have to move it. I'm sitting down, so I can't show you, but you don't have to really move the barrel all that much. Walcom pointed out that you can just kind of, since it's a lever gun, you can, or a lever action blaster, you can do that, and it doesn't move the barrel, so you can keep it pointed at a target and rechamber. And the cool thing is, the other cool thing about it is that what I've noticed, even in my, you know, less than an hour playing with this, is you can conserve ammo a lot more than, say, even something like an Alpha Trooper, which has pros and cons. You can't fire as quick, but at the same time, since it's like this, you can still rapid fire it fairly well, in the same way that you can rapid fire the Sling Fire. So this is really cool, and like I said, there are a lot of modification potentials to this. It has a die-cast lever, which is actually really cool because it's metal, so you can put a lot heavier of a spring in it than, say, the Sling Fire. And I don't think it has gears in it either, so it solves two of the big issues with modifying the Sling Fire. And not only that, but it also is, you can put, you know, a 22 round magazine or even like a 25 round drum into it, and it will, you can just rattle off shot after shot after shot, and it is just fine with it. And it's pretty easy to reload. The mag release is not fabulous, and I'll probably pull a Captain Xavier and make a lever, because that's what I'm used to with stuff like my Spectrum. But I mean, this is a contender. I mean, it's still competitive. Obviously, it's still competitive in today's day and age, especially in Stock Wars, because it beats the pants off of any stock Nerf blaster, at least Elite blaster. And I know you can't tell how hard those are hitting, but yeah, it hits like a dump truck. And I mean, you can make it take K26, and that's really freaking cool, man, because it's just like such a versatile blaster. And I know there are people, I'm out of ammo. There are people who have taken Sentinels, like Luchathor 13 took a Sentinel and made it hit 200 FPS with a fairly easy mod. And I mean, I'm not going to do that because I'm probably going to use this as a since it's stock internally, I'll probably use this for wars with little kids because it is still a functional blaster, and it's actually more than functional. It's actually really good. But the big thing that I've noticed with a lot of reviewers who reviewed this, they said if it had a proprietary mag system like the Rapid Fire Tech, they wouldn't have endorsed it. However, like I said earlier, it takes Nerf mags just fine. It even this is what's cool. It actually takes drums as well. Just fine with no resistance. And that's really cool because, I mean, if I just used, a 22 round worker mag, it's fully possible that I won't have to pull any other mags out for a single engagement, either in PvP or in HVZ. I can hold my own with just a 22 round worker mag, and that's it. And I think that's where this blaster really shines. Is it can sustain for longer period of time because it doesn't have the higher rate of fire. Now, with an Alpha Trooper, you can more quickly fire, but if you're in a role in, say, either a feral squad or a part of the command column, the front of the command column, or even the rear of the command column, this could be really good for someone who's not necessarily in the thick of the action, but is still has to be able to fire decently when they need to. And that is a decent thing, and I can do the same when it's just pointed. I can do the same when it's pointed at a target. So I really like the Sentinel. I absolutely think it has a place in our hobby still. I think that since there's only a few lever action blasters, this is, I think, in terms of functionality, the best. I like the Slingfire's ergonomics, and I like its stock and appearance more, but I think that I would take the Sentinel's functionality over the Slingfire's looks, because it's so much better and it has so much more performance as opposed to the Slingfire, which hits 65, 70 FPS. Instead it's 80, 85, and it's insane. So I think that this is absolutely a great blaster, and it was quite cheap when it was released. And that's the one thing I will say, is that they're expensive now. They're like, I found a new in-box one for I think $60 on eBay, plus like $15 shipping as of the recording of this video. And that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. And so if you can find one at a thrift store or another kind of store like that where it's just a used one, great. This was not a new one. I bought this from Mongoose Jake for I think $40, and so that was a decent deal. I actually don't remember how much I paid for it. Maybe it was $50. I don't know, but I think I'm glad I finally got one. But let me know what you think about the Sentinel. Do you think it's practical? Do you think it's just a novelty? Do you think it has no place in our hobby? Do you think it's the end all be all? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for some really fun mods in the future and some really fun blaster overviews in the future. And I will see all you guys later. Bye.